Welcome to When Marriage and Purpose
Collide,
the
the
podcast.
podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by Cree Speaks Life.
Hi, I'm DJ, co-host of this podcast.
Hi, I'm Lucretia, co-host, and I am also a speaker, author, and purpose journey coach. I am passionate about helping single women of faith rediscover their purpose before the husband and blossom in their marriage. Why, you ask? Because there is purpose to attain, life worth living, and work needing to be done before inviting your future husband in your life. So I decided to bring my husband along to share a man's perspective. Men need encouragement and empowerment too.
Hi, this is DJ, your other host. If you're trying to figure out how to date with purpose, maybe you're single, desiring marriage, in a pause season, or even engaged, this podcast is what you need.
Go sit back,
I actually
enjoy the
forgot we had a
combo
little intro
we have on a
that
daily
we was
basis.
doing.
Yeah,
with
on
questioning the
today's
intro.
why things are happening, right? So let's say, for instance, if you're having a conversation with a friend and you notice, that your body starts to tense up and maybe your palms start sweating, you may not recognize that something was said that could be triggering to you, right? And so when we don't know these things, but we bring them into relationships, we're quick to go from 0 to 100 and give somebody a tongue lashing.
Wow.
If we understand what our triggers are, then we can, already have in place, okay, I know this is probably going to upset me. So let me step back and let me gather my thoughts. So that way I don't respond out of a place of fear.
Gotcha.
Because we have that fear of making someone else mad, the fear of losing a relationship. We don't want to argue, so we either don't say anything or we say everything, right?
Overshare.
But if you take a step back, right, take a step back, take a couple of deep breaths, kind of slow down your response mechanism and look at the situation for what it is. Look at the facts for what it is.
Yeah.
Because not everything that is said and everything that is understood is meant to hurt or harm. But sometimes it's a trigger. And that other person may not know that.
Wow.
So you have to know yourself, okay, this is something that is going to really affect me. And this is how I'm probably going to respond. So let me not respond in that way. Because if you will respond in a way that in 5 minutes, you'll say, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Why did I say that?
Oh, I do that all the time.
Then you know that you responded out of fear.
Yeah.
It wasn't a value-based response. So if you take the time to just slow down, think about it, check in with yourself, feel confident about how you're going to respond, and then respond, then you can sit and say, okay, I really feel good about what I said. And in that, you probably set a boundary. You probably exercised your assertiveness because you said what you needed to say, how you felt. You conveyed your message in a way that person understands.
Yeah.
But see, we lose all of that when we just simply respond and go from 0 to 100, cutting everybody up with our tongue, don't have a care in the world.
God.
And heaven forbid it's our spouse.
Man, oh my goodness. So that was good, because I hope y'all taking notes. I really hope y'all out there are taking notes and y'all really doing some self-evaluation, some reflecting on what triggers you. And so I'm guessing when you're, in a relationship, do you tell your partner those triggers? Is that healthy to do? Like to say, this, when you do this, this is what makes me nervous or makes my hands sweat or makes my heartbeat race. That's when you share that, right?
Right. So, but that's a part of communication.
Okay.
You're not going to come right out the gate, first date, you're ordering drinks, and then, hey, let me tell you what my triggers are,
I don't like
But,
this. I don't like
as
that.
you're getting,
Right.
they're going to be like, check, please. Yep,
Right.
I took out of water. I'm gone.
Yeah.
But no, along the way, once you start to develop that comfort in your relationship and you're able to have those, start to have those transparent conversations, you can say, I want to bring a few things, just to your awareness, because I want to make sure that if I respond in a way that is not healthy for our relationship, I want you to know why, but I also want you to know that I see it and I'm working on it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with saying that I acknowledge I have this and
Ooh.
I'm working on it, but I want you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And that opens up the door for even your partner to say, okay, well, I've never thought about anything like this, but let me think on it. Let me see what I typically respond to, or something that typically easily irritates me. And then I can bring that to the conversation. So that way you're supporting each other in that.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think that's what it is the fear of bringing up that, because they think that person's going to think like they're crazy, or or rejection. Like, it's a lot of things that could come up with why,
Right.
I know it's a lot of things that I didn't want to bring up to him, because I thought he was going to leave when I was getting my heartbeat racing. I tell the story all the time when I told him how much debt I had, or gearing up the conversation to tell him how much debt I had. And I avoided the conversation to a T, because it was something that was really, it was just really a burden. And I didn't want that to be we can't do that, you got, kind of thing. I'm like, but we got something good, you gonna leave me over debt?
Right.
But it was one of those things. And so when I told him, it was like a big relief. It was like a weight that just was like, oh my gosh. And when he said, it's okay, we'll work it out together.
You made it sound like it was like, oh, I got debt. Oh, okay.
That's exactly what he did. That's exactly. He was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's it.
Right.
Just because you got debt don't mean that the relationship is not going to work. I can see if
I thought it would.
No. Because the thing is, it's like, okay, if I got issues and I know you got issues, you're carrying that burden and you thinking that burden's going to hurt or harm me. It's not, because I'm still trying to deal with my stuff. So I'm like, hey, you got problems, I got problems too. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's working out.
Right.
Man. Well, I mean, yeah, it's working out. Sorry.
She's like, yeah.
I didn't know you wanted me to respond or not.
Oh, no, you didn't have
to. Did you have something you wanted to add?
I'm trying to go to your
I know
things
my thing's messing up. But go ahead.
Okay.
Or anything that you just heard.
Well, majority of it is not try to be funny, but it sounds like a healthy introvert.
Healthy? Explain.
Because of being slow to speak, thinking over the process. A lot of me being an introvert, I usually think before I say anything,
which is really annoying sometimes.
I know. But what I do notice, a lot of people,
not that I'm agreeing that you're annoying or anything.
Right. She's like, yep. What I've noticed is whenever I do talk, people listen. It's because it's like, oh, wait, he's saying something. Right. And then it's because I think it through. They'll be like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. A lot of times they automatically assume that I'm smart because of course I say, hey, that's neither here or there. But anyway, so when it comes to our relationship, I've learned how to talk more, but I still kind of think it through before I say anything. So like when she has her issues with me or something's going on, she's looking for like okay, say something. I just like, okay, all right, processing. All right, then I say something, and she's like, okay, this man wants to fully talk it through. I'm gonna have an argument.
Kind of. I don't, but do.
Yeah, she's not good with confrontation, but
we both not good with confrontation.
Yeah, I'll say that. We're not, but at the same time, the fact that we're able to communicate and talk it through, and the fact that I'm still learning how to fully communicate as an introvert, it's been helping us like tremendously. So yes, communication is definitely key in those in dating, especially in any relationship. Even with I'm not going to give any names, even with certain men I know, you could tell the communication is where it needs to, it needs to grow.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times it's a lot of women I hear from, not that they don't have issues or they can't communicate, but a lot of the issue is he can't communicate with me the way they want to be communicated with.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes I hear like but it's common. It seems like it's really common where the men aren't communicating properly to the women to express their needs, express their wants, express who you looking for. Are you wanting me? Like, dude, say something, because the women out here are ready. Like they,
Right.
Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead.
But and that's a really great point, because we have, these expectations like, okay, we want a relationship, and I'm so in touch with myself, and I'm ready to meet someone and all these things. And a lot of men have never been confirmed, affirmed, feel safe in the space to really have that authentic conversation with anyone, to say, this is what I want, this is how I feel. And so it takes really some time. I wouldn't say a whole lot, but it takes some time to build that trust. To build that trust for them to for a lot of men, not all men, but for a lot of men to break through that hard shell and really expose how they feel and be genuine to what is it that you want. You have an option, you have a choice here. You really do. And lean into that. Don't try to force yourself into a situation thinking that it's going to change, because it's most likely not. If both people are not at a place where they recognize that they want to make positive changes, you can't force anyone to change or to be the example of which you visualize in your mind.
Right.
And that goes back to early exposure. What have people been exposed to when it comes to relationships?
Yeah, that's key. And that's something I think it needs to be taught more to the women, too. When I speak, I always speak about patience. I'm like, okay, you have to be patient with him. Only because I'm in a relationship with somebody I have to be patient with is why I know this. I wouldn't have known this before dating him. But now that I'm able to speak about it, I'm able to say it just really takes patience, because I was going to drop him like in the dating, because I'm like, this brother, I'm trying, man. But but no, I'm like, you just need to stick with it a little longer and be a little bit patient, even though in some of the cases it didn't work out. But I said it takes time. Like, you trying to get this man to marry you in 6 months or in 3 months, trying to get him to say what the relationship is, and he don't even know how to say it to you, to trust you, all the things. So I'm glad you really really talked about that, because I'm glad that that's one of the things that needs to be said. It needs to be talked about.
Just to be clear.
Oh, my bad.
It wasn't even nothing wrong. She automatically was just trying to find a red flag. She's like, something ain't right.
That's another thing too.
Right.
It's like, hold on.
But that comes from trauma.
That
comes from trauma. Like, what's wrong with him? Where's it at? Where is it?
Yeah. And that's go ahead.
Now, I was saying, the thing is, I was talking way more than I actually do with anybody. I was giving her all the stories, and she was like, "There's something wrong with this man."
Yeah, and I think it goes back to just childhood and just noticing relationships that failed. And so I'm always like, okay, even though my parents were I'm the only child between my parents, between both of my parents, and I have stepbrothers, stepsisters, and things like that. And then also, which I really don't call them that, but and all those failed relationships that you see in family. There's some good relationships, but some failed relationships. I always wanted to go to deep end, to the other side. Be like, but what if it don't work out? So let me find something. Let me just find something and start picking different things that that even need to pick. Like, the brother said, he's a man of God. He's going to church. He's serving. He's doing all the things in my list. And I'm still trying to pick out things. Like, really?
He ain't all the way there yet. Hold on. He said he's going. I don't know. Let me make sure.
He got baptized. Took me with him to go get baptized.
Oh,
and this was before you were married?
Yeah, all these things was before I was married.
No, it was a stipulation before the baptized though. What I said that I need something to tell you.
Oh, that was a whole nother story. And
I was like, but I gotta show my love for God first.
Yeah, and I had no idea what that meant. And so
It was between me and God. You just had to come along.
But see, that was what, and then after that is when I saw where his heart was, you know, and then it took time, it took patience. And that was 6 months, about 6 months into our relationship. So, and that's why I'm able to now tell and talk about this because of the experiences I've had. So I'm glad you're able to bring that to light. I enjoy this conversation when it comes to especially emotional intelligence, because that is a thing. All right. And when he talks about when you talked about healthy relationships and the trauma you experience, and how really going back to how your relationships with your family, with your mom, your dad, like I didn't think, I thought about that, but I didn't really think specifically, how is your relationship with your father? How is it with your mom? Like we always talk about, but you don't pick the people to kind of do it. You use a broad range of, oh yeah, they good. Oh yeah, we had trouble, but we fine now. No, but for real, how is it? Or how was it? So
it's very important.
Yeah, so I really, really appreciate you coming, Queen. This has been a great conversation.
It was.
Anything else you wanted to say?
Oh, well, it was the childhood trauma.
Oh, go ahead.
I know we usually talk about our relationship and other people's relationships. I think the biggest thing I'm taking out of this is my relationship with Delia, which was my daughter.
Oh.
Because I am the father and I can actually harm her in a way where it's like, okay, I can ruin her basically her life by just doing something where I think it's simple, but it's trauma.
It is.
So out of all this, I'm gonna try my best to give her a nice protective bubble.
Lavelle too, but
Lavelle too. But I know for her it's increased
because of the father-daughter
me just being present for Lavelle is a big deal.
Sure.
Just with my emotions and how I talk to her is a little bit more for her. That's why a lot of times it's more protective for her, and then for him, just me being here is enough for him. Although of course I do more, but me being
your presence,
right. So I mean, you know, as long as you're having, you know, healthy conversations with them, asking them how they feel, get because at 9 and 11, my kids are 9 and 11. I get on their nerves, but I don't care. I ask them all the time. You know, what are you feeling? Notice any changes in their behavior or their thought process, or if they're gazing out, you know, ask them about what they're thinking about. Like, what adventure did you just go on? Tap into them, help them to talk about it, and help build up their vocabulary. And that's really one very, very, very important thing when it comes to emotional intelligence. A lot of people don't have an emotional bank of words to draw from. All we typically know is happy, mad, sad, and glad. You know, we don't understand frustrated, problematic, turmoil, joyful, you know, like we don't have all of those words authentic, you know, in our bank. So we have to learn those, but we learn those by, of course, reading, by listening, but by talking about it, And so, you know, you can ask your daughter, you know, draw me a picture of how you're feeling. And she draws the sun and a rainbow and the sky might be raining, but we don't know if it's going to rain. So they ask her, like, so what's this day like? What are you going to do at this day? And just, you know, really help her to develop those words and freedom of expression. And those are like really key ways for kids to build up their emotional intelligence, because as they're going to school and they're being surrounded by other kids from other homes and other communities, they need to be able to express exactly how they're feeling and what they're feeling, and then come back and talk to you and feel really safe to say, I had a bad day. This is what happened.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to take that. I'm an artist, and I know she's been drawn too. So me and her gonna be drawn.
That's good. Yeah, she does take on a lot of your traits. She takes on a lot of your traits. And so no, that was good. That was key. And I think I gained more from this conversation. Like, you know, from you. Well, I mean, you are family. You know, marriage and family. So like just as a whole, like this is an amazing conversation that people need to tap in really to what you got going on and all that. So tell the people where they can find you, how they can get connected with you, if you have any services to provide them. Yeah, let the folks, the listeners know how they can be connected with you.
Sure. So I'm on social media, Instagram and Facebook at Cornerstone Visionaries. You can find there. You can send me a DM. You can send me either way. My telephone number's up there, email, everything is kind of there. But I also have specific coaching package. So I work with individuals, and it's all on a 3-month basis. I work with individuals, couples, and families.
Okay.
And we do a lot of this here, talking about building healthy relationships. And one of the key things with the couples is, one thing that I've noticed with a lot of younger couples that I'm working with is that they did not go to premarital counseling.
Oh.
And so here we are within, a couple of years of being married, and they're having very tense conversations about things that weren't discussed before they got married. And so we talk about those things and kind of work, and I coach them through that, just through those different areas. Like you guys talked about debt. Debt is one of them, having children is another one, family values. And I love that you guys started with family values, because that's like the key to my heart. But family values, what's important that we grew up in that we want to bring together for our own family, helping to have those discussions to build a healthy relationship. We have to stop the stigma and the lack of acknowledgement of what a healthy relationship looks like, because we still have kids and kids and kids and generations after us that are looking to see what it looks like in the flesh, opposed to TikTok and YouTube and on TV that's rehearsed, and even on the Disney Channel. They see those relationships and they're like, okay, this is what we're expecting. No, this is real life relationship, and this is how you communicate, and this is how you work through challenges, and this is how you celebrate each other, and this is how you say I love you. This is how you express love. This is how you receive love.
Good.
That's so good. That is so good. Y'all, if y'all don't do anything right now, follow and DM.
We'll have the links in the
DM. We're gonna have everything in the description. But yes, like, come on, y'all. Come on. So is there any freebies that you're offering the listeners today of anything?
Sure. So if you are interested in any one of my coaching packages, I am taking 40% off of the fee. Depending on which package. 40%. Yeah, I'm almost 40, so I'm gonna go with 40.
Hey,
almost 40. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So so when you reach out and just say that you got this from When Marriage and Purpose Collide, and I'll hook you up and we'll get started on doing the work.
There we go. Y'all listen up. Y'all better come on, get up in there, do it. So I really, really appreciate you in this conversation. It was so healthy. It was fun. You even gave us some nuggets for our own family.
oh yeah, I'm drawn.
You do. You joined in on the
and
conversation.
Make it reindeer treats.
Yep.
We're doing it big. So I really, really appreciate you and your time and taking time out of your schedule to come and speak with us. So thank you. So yeah, that's it. Over and out, y'all. We'll see y'all next time on When Marriage and Purpose Collide. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you for tuning in to When Marriage and Purpose Collide, the podcast, with your hosts, DJ and Lucretia. And we hope you enjoyed our conversation and advice. If you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch the latest, you can follow Lucretia M. Haley, that's Lucretia M. Haley, on Instagram, and subscribe to Cree Speaks Life on YouTube. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.